This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, how there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday for today, May the 28th, is a former member of the Detroit Tigers and LA Dodgers. Well, memorable for being with the Tigers and Dodgers. Once I can't stand in Pittsburgh. He's actually a color commentator for the Tigers on Valley Sports Detroit. So he knows his stuff with the Tigers. Anyway, he's had some dramatic hits in the World Series for both the Tigers and Dodgers. He actually was a TV analyst after his retirement as a player, but then became the interim manager of the Diamondbacks in 2010, becoming manager for 4 years, and then moving back to the broadcast booth to be a commentator for the Tigers in 2019. He's 67 years old today. His name is Kirk Gibson. Yes, that one. Anyway, Kirk was born in Pontiac, Michigan, May 1957. He would graduate from high school in 1975 and attended close by Michigan State University, becoming an All-American wide receiver for the football team. Bet you didn't know that Kirk Gibson was a pretty good football player. Anyway, Gibson actually helped Michigan State out as a senior, getting them to the Hula Bowl and all them. So he did quite well for himself, making several All-American teams, and was elected to the College Football Hall of Fame in 2017, which is amazing. At the suggestion of the football coach, he actually played college baseball for Michigan State. He only played 1 year of college baseball, but it was big. In 48 games, he got 16 round trippers and 52 RBIs. The Tigers signed him in the first round of the 1978 MLB draft, so that was a huge move by the Tigers to go after Kirk Gibson. They made him 12 overall. The first 11 picks were huge because you had four very good players who were all stars. Bob Horner, Lloyd Mosby, Hubie Brooks, and Mike Morgan were ahead of him. But anyway, Gibson was drafted 12th overall. However, he did not do well in the NFL draft. He was picked in the 7th round by the Cardinals. But then again, a lot of people were saying he was going to probably play baseball because of the first round pick. And he did. He chose to sign with the Tigers and forego football. He was made his regular debut in 1979, and by 1983, he was the regular right fielder of the Tigers from 83 to 87. He actually helped the Tigers win the 1984 World Series, became a free agent after the 85 season, but because of the collusion thing with the MLB owners, he didn't get any offers and resigned with the Tigers. And helped the Tigers win the AL East in 1987. It wasn't so much as Detroit doing well to win the AL East, it was the fact that the Blue Jays made a massive collapse and all that, not winning one game in the final 7 days. Detroit would lose the ALCS to the Twins. A lot of people thought he was going to be the next Mickey Mantle. Sparky Anderson even said so, his manager. And probably felt he apologized and said it put too much pressure on Gibson. Nevertheless, he was a good versatile. Remember, he could hit home runs and steal bases. He actually was top 10 in the AL in home runs 3 times, but was top 10 in stolen bases 4 times, which was pretty amazing and all that. He was known for his clutch home runs. His most clutch home run for the Tigers was 1984 in Game 5 of the final against the Padres. Goose Gossage was a pretty good reliever. Tigers were at 5-4, runners on second and third with 1 out. So all Gibson practically had to do was lift one to the outfield to make it an RBI, sac fly. An intentional walk seemed to be in order because of the whole fact that it is Kirk freaking Gibson. And Gibson already home run. However, Gossage told San Diego manager Dick Williams he was going to strike him out. And he did in Gibson's first ever Major League at bat. And Kirk was 1 for 10 against Gossage and all that. Anyway, a lot of people said that, Gossage was pretty had bravado because he could take down Kirk Gibson. But Sparky Anderson was heard saying, he don't want to walk you. And then, swing away. Gossage tried to throw a fastball 1-0, and Gibson rocked it into the upper deck of the right field stands. 3-run home run, icing the game for the Tigers and the series for all that. And Goose Gossage actually said in his 2008 Hall of Fame induction speech, "I should have walked Gibson." All that. Nevertheless, he was a Tiger. However, an arbitrator actually said that because of the baseball owners colluding against major players, he granted several players free agency. Gibson left the Tigers and got a generous offer from the LA Dodgers. All that. Anyway, Gibson actually openly criticized the Dodgers for their unprofessionalism and became the de facto leader and put up a 290 batting average with 25 round trippers and 76 RBIs to win the National League MVP vote. Kind of controversially and all that. He didn't lead the league in any major category. A lot of people said that his intensity and leadership helped the Dodgers out. And heck, the Dodgers somehow won the 1988 NL West. Darryl Strawberry was the MVP runner-up, and a lot of people said he deserved the trophy. Anyway, Gibson made a gigantic catch in Game 3 of the NLCS against the Mets. He slipped on the wet grass and somehow reached out and made a full extension catch to save a Mookie Wilson double. The Dodgers would lose that game. So anyway, regardless of Gibson's heroics, the Dodgers and Mets went to a 7-game drag-em-out series, which saw the Dodgers win at Shea Stadium. Regardless of that, Gibson was hobbled. He had injured both legs during the NLCS and couldn't really play. He wasn't expected to play at all. The Dodgers were down 4-3 in Game 1 thanks to a Jose Canseco grand salami. They had Mike Davis on first base, and with 2 outs in the ninth, Tommy Lasorda shocked a lot of people by putting Kirk Gibson in the game as a pinch hitter. Gibson was hobbled and all that. NBC thought it was going to happen. Vin Scully, who was calling the play-by-play for NBC and knew the Dodgers well because after all, he was the main play-by-play guy for Dodgers TV and radio, figured Gibson wasn't going to do anything. But Gibson, limping and all that, he had pulled left hamstring and a swollen right knee, would face Dennis Eckersley, and Eckersley was a very good closer. Gibson was down 0-2 in the count, but somehow laid off a pair of pitches that were called balls that would have ended the game if he swung at them. He fouled off a pitch, and then on the 7th pitch of his at-bat, Davis would steal second base. So anyway, Gibson used his pure upper body strength to somehow lift the ball, the 3-2 backdoor slider, and lift it over the right field fence, and it was gone. It was jubilance. The Dodgers had just shocked Oakland, who were crushing every opponent in the American League in that 1988 season. The Dodgers won Game 1. I know I did a sports catastrophe about Kirk Gibson's home run, but anyway, it was just amazing. And 2 iconic calls, well, 3 iconic calls. Don Drysdale had the iconic call on Dodgers radio saying, "This time the mighty Casey did not strike out." Jack Buck for CBS Radio said, "I don't believe what I just saw." And Vin Scully for NBC says, "In a year that seems so improbable, Kirk Gibson, he has done the impossible." The Dodgers somehow used that momentum from Gibson's one and only play appearance in the World Series and won the series in 5 games. No thanks to Earl Hershiser in his 2 dominant starts. So he played for the Dodgers for a few more years, wasn't the same player, and then he decided to sign as a free agent by the Kansas City Royals. He played 1 year with the Royals and then got traded to Pittsburgh for Neil Heaton. He would retire temporarily from baseball after being released by the Pirates, May 1992. Gibson actually got an offer to play in the Arena Football League and didn't do all that. He came back to the Tigers from 93 to 95, spending the final 3 years of his career there, and somehow hit 23 home runs in 98 games in the 1994 season before that stupid strike ruined the season. It was just unbelievable how he came back to Detroit after leaving so acrimoniously. In over 1,600 games in his career, he batted .268 lifetime with 255 home runs, 870 RBIs. He became a TV analyst for the Tigers for 5 seasons, and then would be color commentator for the Tigers. Well, 98 2002, and then when he came back to Detroit after managing, he would be the color commentator and was named special assistant for the Tigers. He was made the main color commentator as both play-by-play guy Mario Venezuela and I can't remember the color guy's name actually were forced from their jobs because of sexual allegations. Regardless, he was named the Tigers bench coach in 2003 by Alan Trammell, who was his teammate. He was moved from bench coach to hitting coach for the 2005 season, and then in 2007 he was the bench coach, which is kind of the assistant manager, if you will. Gibson wore number 23 for baseball throughout his career, but had to give it up because Willie Horton's number 23 was retired by the Tigers. Regardless, he got his chance to be manager with Arizona after A.J. Hinch was fired. He was given a few things. He shocked a lot of people in his first full year as manager in 2011, giving the Diamondbacks the NL West. He was named NL Manager of the Year, and he spent 4 years with the team. He picked up a 353 and 375 record as a manager, being 48%. In the postseason, they lost Game 5 to the Brewers on that Nigel Morgan walk-off single. So anyway, Gibson would marry his wife Joanne Sklarski. It was weird because fellow Tiger player Dave Rosema actually married Joanne's sister Sandy. So anyway, they have 4 children: Colleen, Cam, Kirk Jr., and Kevin. Cam was actually drafted in the 5th round of the 2015 baseball draft by the Tigers, and his son Kevin played in the ECHL for the Fort Wayne Comets in the hockey. So anyway, there was a lot of people who said he deserved to be in the College Football Hall of Fame, but he finally got it in 2017. He actually has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, so that's hard to believe, but yeah, that's true. But yeah, Kirk Gibson is helping the Tigers out any way he can. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond.